Herd on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance.
The Herd brought to you by Little Caesars. Try our new large deep dish pizza, $8 at participating locations plus tax. 3-time Super Bowl champ Darren Woodson. You live in Dallas, Darren, so I love getting into the Cowboy issues. What was the reaction in Dallas, first of all, to Dez Bryant's rant and the last-minute loss to the Lions?
The world is going to end. Absolutely. And you know what? And Colin, I'll tell you this. I am one of those guys that, I sat there and watched that game from start to finish. And, hey, listen, I know everyone knows where my loyalties are. I'll say it.
Yeah, why not?
13 years.
But you also rip them.
Yeah, I got to rip them all the time. And I'll rip them today because of what happened. But, you sit there and you watch that and you find, and you know how average teams lose games. That's why the Cowboys are a 500 team, because they cannot close in the fourth quarter. Now, listen, you're going to close in the fourth quarter. You have to have a running game to close.
Yes.
You got to milk the clock. You got to find a way to milk it. Could not do that. Had a holding call, pushed them back, stopped the clock, and then they get into that situation.
That is so Cowboys.
Yeah, that's Cowboys, and that's average. If you want to play average, this is what's going to happen to you.
When Jimmy Johnson was leading the Cowboys, was he detail-oriented? Because you had talent.
Yes.
So we tend to forget, Cowboys had all sorts of talent. Take our audience, Darren, during the Jimmy years to how detailed you were.
We play what we'd have situational plays. And not only Jimmy Johnson, but I thought who probably did it the best was Bill Parcells. You talk about situation. Every situation that there could possibly be in a football game, Bill Parcells handled. He absolutely handled. I'm talking onside kick, what we're doing after the onside kick. If it's punting the ball, whatever it was, we covered every situation. Jimmy Johnson was similar in his own ways as far as getting his young players to understand that in the fourth quarter, the way we win football games is we're going to run the clock. We're going to beat you. We're going to physically beat you in the fourth quarter. And if we can't stop you defensively, we are going to blitz you until you can't see straight. But that's the way we would go about games.
These Cowboy teams give you all the fireworks shows.
Yes.
Because this Cowboy team is talented. But that holding call where it stopped the clock, to me, that is a 10-year picture of that play.
That play did not surprise me. I mean, Colin, I'm telling you, as a loyal Cowboy fan, it did not surprise me that Tyron Smith was going to have a holding call.
And he's a good guy and a good player.
He's a great player. Great player. And I didn't expect him to be. I thought maybe Doug Free, maybe on the other side. Not Tyron. Not him. I wouldn't think that he would be the one. But at the same time, when you have those type of penalties in that type of situation at the end of a game when you're trying to close it out, that is average football. And that's what the Cowboys are. They're a 500 team right now.
By the way, I would argue Detroit is a northern version of the Cowboys. 4 turnovers, 8 penalties.
They were trying to give the game away.
No. It was the 2 teams in this league, add Cincinnati through the years, have all the talent,
yes,
and just give games away. Meanwhile, the Patriots go out and I don't even know how they're winning games.
I have no idea.
Did you watch the Miami game at all?
Yes.
Miami had the game won.
Yeah, and had chances to go up even. I mean, missed the field goal, 17-3, missed the field goal to go up 20-3.
Do you think players in the league know they get out-coached by Belichick?
I think so. I think so. I think, even when I looked at that game, I was watching that game, and they went into halftime, and the score was, 17-3 going into halftime. You knew Bill Belichick was going to make some adjustments. My reaction to it was, what are the Miami Dolphins going to do at halftime to understand that Bill Belichick's going to make those adjustments? How are they going to make adjustments? Are they going to be as aggressive as they were in the first half? And what we saw was Bill Belichick comes out, they start running the ball a little bit more. Ridley starts pounding. Then they start taking their shots. They made adjustments. Miami Dolphins didn't. And I think the players understood that too. I really do. I think players, as far as when we played a good or a well-coached football team, you knew in the third and fourth quarter, they're going to make adjustments. Good teams are going to make adjustments. San Francisco 49ers were going to make adjustments at halftime.
Let me ask you this. Did you know as a player when a team was poorly coached? And if so, how did you know?
Penalties. Penalties. I can tell you right now, penalties.
Who was poorly coached when you were in the NFL?
I'm just going to throw people under the bus right now. You want me to just throw a team
absolutely.
under the bus? Let's see.
Tampa Bay, Sam Weish.
Yeah, we didn't see Tampa a lot.
Okay.
I'm thinking about teams that were in the NFC East at the time. There was a time, and I couldn't tell you who it was that was. You know what? I remember maybe it was Spurrier that was there with the Washington Redskins and Hasselbeck. You remember Hasselbeck Timmy ended up being a quarterback and playing against us, but they were a poorly.
The Redskins under Spurrier.
Oh my goodness! I mean, they would run the same play over and over again on offense. I mean, we would sit there defensively and just sit on the routes because we knew what was coming.
Speaking of sitting on routes, Des Bryant got all worked up.
Yeah.
Now the video and the audio is out on the NFL Network. It was recorded. Now, he's still going nuts, and Jason Witten still looked like he wanted to strangle him.
Right.
But now the audio, it makes it sound like Dez is almost
encouraging. Guys.
It's almost like Dez and Tony. He's not yelling at him. He's like, you're my man.
Yes.
So do you feel a little less inclined this morning to bang on Dez Bryant?
I wasn't banging on him from day one. I thought the whole deal with Dez is, this team has looked for an emotional leader, a guy to get you going a little bit. And everyone I've talked to, and I guess you'd have to be closer to the situation to understand, but everyone I've ever talked to, and the times I've been around Dez, he has nothing negative to say.
He's not a mean-spirited guy.
He's not. I mean, he wants to win football games. Does he want the ball like 99% of the receivers in the league? Yes, he wants the ball.
And he's great.
And he's great. And he wants it when he has one-on-one coverage. I can understand that. But at the same time, I've never heard anything negative come out of from other guys' mouth about Dez Bryant. Yeah. They say the guy works hard, wants to win, he's emotional, blah, blah. Now, he's had his issues off the field.
Sure.
But on the field, in that locker room, everyone loves him. So I didn't have a problem with what was going on the sideline.
Let's just look at the Cowboys rest of the way. I just love talking Cowboys with you. Rest of the way. You just said they're a 500 team. I have them going 9-7 and winning the division.
I'm winning the division 9-7, but first round of the playoffs, they'll be sitting there.
Good seeing you, bud.
Thanks, you too now.
ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. Call or click today. Find out if you could save. Last year, over 3 million drivers.